Hello and welcome to Cloudforest Vibes. My name's Bobby, and this is how I grow orchids and carnivorous plants. Hello and welcome to Cloudforest Vibes. I have an awesome video for you guys today. I've got some really exciting new blooms that I am really eager to share with you guys, and also some progress on just about everything. The seasons have officially changed and things are going nuts. My tank is slowing down a bit, but growth is starting to pick up, and we do have some really cool things in there, including some blooms we haven't seen for a little while. But in here, things are just going ape, like I said before in my last update. I actually tried to shoot a video earlier this week and get it posted, and somehow in doing so I deleted it, and I don't have the footage, so I have some updates on some plants that I remounted and did some moss updates on. I'm going to have to redo that video with some other plants. I still have a lot of maintenance and things like that to do this spring, and the time is coming, so here soon you'll see some maintenance type videos coming out from me, but today it is all about the blooms. So let's get in here and take a look, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Starting off here with a little bit of progress, I have my Encyclia bractescens. This plant we've looked at a few times. It's actually starting to fill out kind of nicely. It's got 3 directions of growth now, finally. And right here we have our first sign of a spike. Just starting down here. Really exciting news. These are awesome blooms, and I missed out on them last year because I cut the spike trying to get some strength back into this plant, which we talked about in the last update, but as you see, it did work, at least it seemed to. So the other Encyclia that we have down here, I noticed the other day, where is it now? Oh, down here, zoom back in. This is Encyclia tampensis, and we have here and here also started our spikes. So two spikes on this one on the other, and high hopes this year that we're going to see both of them. This was awesome. This bloomed on 4th of July last year, so we'll have to see what happens this year with those. The bractescens again didn't bloom, and I am really looking forward to seeing these blooms again. The first time it bloomed for me, the first year I had it, it only was able to produce 1 flower. The spike died off for some reason, and only one of them survived. So it was a really neat bloom, and I've been really eager to see it ever since. Speaking of eager to see, this Miltonia farmaticala spike is just going and going and going and going and going and going and going. This thing's actually starting to produce more branches now, so hopefully we see buds form in the near future. I thought waiting for a twinkle spike to form was bad. This thing has been forming for months. It's to the point now where I have to kind of zip tie it together because it is too wide to fit where it is. It's growing up and through my braccia. It actually uses the braccia for support, otherwise it lays all the way over here. And again, the plant is all the way down here. I'm working on getting this bad boy some more light. I haven't seen any signs of new growth from this thing yet. I imagine it'll most likely wait until after it's done blooming, but I do not know. I was in the middle of shooting a couple videos the other day. I finally dealt with my Dendrobium Dichoides. Here I trimmed it up. I remounted the whole thing on a bigger piece of cork, and I'm trying to let it ramble and produce a whole bunch of more shoots. It is a creeping type of plant, and as you can see, it had tons of aerial roots that are now touching the mount. The leads are hanging down, they are still growing. The ones that I cut will most likely shoot out just like this one did with other growths. That's what it seems to tend to do, but I'm hoping it'll fill this mount out. I cut the 1 bloom spike we had off of it. The moss was definitely going. It smelled really rank. The Gomessa vericosa var Felicio Valdino here got a nice moss freshening up. The Oncidium twinkle actually went ahead and just remounted this bad boy, put it on a little bit larger of a mount with some more moss. It also really badly needed it. The Dendrobium Dichoides here went onto a new mount. I didn't divide anything. One of the keikis fell off. I strapped the entire cane down to the mount. After watching some of the other people with this plant, I've decided to kind of grow it more horizontally, so my mount is no longer hanging vertically. It's kind of at an incline. I'm hoping that's going to help it be more encouraged to grow on the mount and not hang off all over the place. Hoping for lots of big things with this guy. I did notice watering the other day that my Dendrobium Senneli, the new one that I got from Tarzan, is coming into growth in 2 locations, there and also down there. So that's very exciting news. It is starting to come back. Sadly, my Dendrobium Caliculatum is probably no more. I remounted it, I took it off the stick, and it promptly dumped all of its leaves. The pseudobulbs are still green. I'm still letting it hang in there for now. Never give up on a Dendrobium. But that is that. Speaking of Dendrobium, we will take a look at this. This is our Dendrobium unicum, and this is our first new blooms that we're going to look at. This plant decided to open its first 2 new blooms in the last couple days. This one actually opened overnight. This one opened yesterday. This one opened yesterday, and it is awesome. It is every bit as beautiful as I'd hoped for, and I absolutely cannot wait to see the rest of this cane flush with these awesome orange blooms. Haven't gotten a good picture of this yet, but I will, and I'll throw it up. They're a very interesting shape. They kind of hang upside down. Makes it a little bit hard to video. But it's got an awesome patterning on the lip there, on the inside. And the petals and sepals kind of recurve. They curl backwards. So really neat, and lots more buds to come. So we'll take another look at that here soon. Really big news. The Bulbophyllum barbagirum spike is starting to really extend. I think we're going to get a pretty cool show from this plant. I'm super excited. Other new blooms, we finally have our little Columnia Tetrapedula. This plant is so neat. All 3 blooms are open with a nice little side profile there. And this one, the single bloom, as you can see, is relatively much larger than when it has multiple blooms on the spike. I find that interesting. I guess it robs energy from the plant, but as you can see, out in full force. Really neat little plant, and hopefully it's going to be hanging in there with us for quite a while. These tend to last a fair amount of time, at least a month or so, and yeah, I just love them. Really neat. My other little Columnia species, Calacula, if you look centrally right there, you'll see a little green spike, and it is definitely forming a spike. I am super excited. Cannot wait to see this flower. It is a beautiful, beautiful yellow color. So as long as it hangs in there, we will have that to look at very soon as well. Something else that should be with us in the relatively near future is this. The Dracula Gascoigna is actually starting to show buds. The ones underneath are even more pronounced, but it is not going to be too much longer. Once Draculas get to this stage, it just seems like they really start to grow quickly. I'm extremely eager to see a Dracula actually have a nice show on it. I've only had 1 or 2 blooms here and there so far, but boy are they worth it. which is going to lead me to my next new bloom. So we are down here in the depths of my greenhouse, and we are looking at my Dracula Gaskeliana. But the business is definitely down here. We have got our first bloom open on this awesome little Dracula. Let's see if I can get it up a little bit higher so we can appreciate it nice up close and personal. But what a sight that is. Awesome little plant with a really, really cool bloom. Alrighty, here we go. So before you ask, yes, I am laying on the floor of my greenhouse looking up, but now you see why. This is Dracula Gascoigna. We have painstakingly waited for this spike for months and months, and this is why. This is my first true monkey-faced Dracula orchid to bloom. It's this beautiful yellow color with this red spotting. I was able to get really good pictures of this thing. It's super hairy, and for some reason it just doesn't come out good on video, but what a beautiful bloom. Well worth the wait, and I am happy to say that we do have another spike starting, so we may have a chance to see another one of these flowers this season. Really awesome. I'm going to go ahead and wrap out the video there, guys, because I do not know a better way to do it. I'm going to roll a few pictures of this thing so you can really see the true color of it, because the video is just not doing it justice. And I will definitely see you guys next time. Thank you so much, as always, for joining. And until next time, happy growing, guys. See ya.